What's up everybody, I hope you're all doing well and having a great day. Welcome to another video. If you saw the last episode in the Stormblood series, Stormblood Part 4, you'll know that we finished 4.0. And I was in a bit of a funk with the story. I wasn't really enjoying Stormblood, I'll be honest. And I was pretty honest in the video that there was a lot of issues with it I had, but I can tell you now, in the last week, I've played a lot more than I probably should have. I've really played a lot. And the story has really picked up for me. I've really enjoyed it. And we finished all of the post-patch content. We're right now, as of today, we are just ready to start Shadowbringers, and the hype is so real. It just all came back in 3.3, and I just fell back in love with the story, and I couldn't put it down. I think yesterday I did a 10-hour stream where I just non-stop story right up to the end of Stormblood. So there's a lot to cover in this one. Let's get straight into the video. So yeah, welcome everybody. My name is Medieval Marty, and I am no longer a sprout. What a wild 4 months this has been. I feel like it's gone quite fast, but I don't know, maybe not, I don't know. But yeah, we finally got to the end of Stormblood, ready to step into the most recent expansion. And what a 4 months it's been. Stormblood has been real highs and lows. The lows were really low, but if we talk about the ending and the raids and stuff, they were really high. So yeah, there's a lot to talk about in this one. We also did the entire Omega raid series, which I absolutely adored. I'm going to link that down below separately because it is a big long video. I covered a 50-minute video of everything in there, with my reactions on stream. So check that out if you do want to see that full raid video. I think I did miss one boss in there because I deleted it by accident, but let's pretend that never happened. But yeah, let's get into the video. There's a hell of a lot to talk about. I should stop messing around. So picking up from the end of 4.0, it kind of builds you in slowly, picking up the pieces of the aftermath of the war and telling the small tales of the characters along the way. And the first tale it tells is you kind of go on a little mission with Ardenvold, Hagendars, I can't remember his name. The guy, you know what I mean. You go on an adventure with him, and he tells you about some hidden treasure, and you and ALPHI, I think, go on this mission to look for this treasure in the drowned city of Skalla. The dungeon itself felt more like an optional dungeon because the whole story was it felt non-MSQ. It felt very kind of like a side story of this little hidden treasure, kind of like a bit of fun. So I took it as a bit of fun, and it was good. You got this cool seahorse. And as we were killing it, I said in chat oh guys, I really hope this drops as a mount. I really want this one. And apparently it's not a mount. So yeah, Square Enix, get this thing in the game somehow. Put it as a drop here, or I don't know if you got to do it, put it in the cash shop. But yeah, I want to ride this thing. I want this as a mount 100%. I think this would make such a cool, unique looking mount, and it ties into the MSQ as well. Yeah, definitely. That's all I could think about when I was fighting this. Ardenvold, that's the guy's name. Yeah, overall, I thought this was a cool little fun excursion just with ALPHI and Ardenvold. Really cool idea, really fun little dungeon, hunting for treasure with these two guys. I thought Ardenvold was a really cool character, and he should have got more time in 4.0 because I feel like 4.0 was lacking those charismatic characters like Thancred and, a bit of sass, and I thought Ardenvold has it. So yeah, I kind of like that character. It was nice to see more of him in 4.1. Very cool little intro to the post-patch content. And then the rest of 4.0 fell a little bit flat for me. I think it's 4.1. I think it was in 4.1, maybe start of 4.2. I can't remember. But it all just fell a little flat. You had the Nanamo Ruban story. You had setting up the salt flats to make money for the refugees. You had the Snake Women tribe that infiltrated the meeting, and you had the half redemption kind of thing between the caged Fordola. I thought it was a good story, and then you had kind of this thing where you're setting up the salt factory. I thought the whole thing was interesting little stories, but I thought they were dragged out quite long. And overall, this whole thing didn't feel punchy. It felt very like some little short stories that were just holding the story. It just kind of held my interest. But overall, it was not a high point. It was just kind of okay, what's next? Oh, okay, this is happening. And it never felt like a big story moment. It was just more world building. And I think after 4.0, I was kind of done with the world building and the lore. I was just ready for some big moments and some big action, I think. and then what can only be described as the Lalafelling. You'll notice a certain Lalafell on the left from one of the very first videos, and a lot of the little shorts and funny videos. They take a lot of pleasure in taunting me and just appearing at random times in random places. And they've started a Lalafelling of getting more and more people to turn into Lalafells. I don't know how they've done it. I think it was through the Discord. But people, you'll start to recognize people in lots of the other videos, now much shorter and more high-pitched voices. So yeah, a lot of our friends are slowly turning into Lalafells. And then I think this was around 4.1, 4.2. We saw the return of Gusetsu and Yotsuyu. And my take on this was I thought Gusetsu and Yotsuyu had an amazing ending in Doma Castle. I thought it was the pinnacle of Stormblood. It was the best part of the whole 4.0. And I thought they had a very good ending. Bringing them back, I know that a lot of people really liked the Yotsuyu kind of like seeing her, the other side to her, and it kind of builds into the ending of 4.3 and the fatherly figure of Gusetsu. I completely get what they were doing, but I kind of liked their ending in Doma Castle, so it felt a little weird having them back. I didn't really personally get attached to this story because yeah, I've just said, I guess. I kind of liked how they ended it before, and it felt weird that they, you know, magically survived. I don't know. I think how they ended Yotsuyu the second time was really, really good. Gusetsu, not so much, but yeah, they're back, and I thought it was an interesting story. It's just not the story I was expecting or wanted, I guess. And then we met the most lovable and most liked character in all of Stormblood, Asahi. What a guy. Let me know in the comments what you think of him. People hate this guy, don't they? They made him really unlikable, and they did a good job with it. Yeah. There was a show that aired in the UK called Lazy Town. I don't know, when I was younger, it's like a kid's show. I don't know if you've seen it in your country, but he reminded me of this guy here. It was uncanny to me. But yeah, let me know if you get the reference. It's kind of a niche kids program, maybe. But yeah, overall, 4.1 to 4.3 really dragged. It wasn't my kind of story. I wasn't really into it. But from here, this point right here, everything changed. I felt like it went back to Final Fantasy XIV's roots of summonings and scions and the Asians and the primals, and everything just came back together, and I was hooked right from this moment to the very end of Stormblood. It just had all my attention. I think right from here to the end of Stormblood, I did in one sitting, a 10-hour sitting. I was absolutely in love with the story again. So yeah, it was all up from here. I thought they did an incredible job with this trial, this ending, and where they went from here. And then the Lalafelling took its next victim. Me. This trial was fab. This trial was really, really, really good. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. I thought it was interesting that they used the story to take on elements of the actual trial itself. It reminded me a lot of Shiva. You know, like at the end when Shiva went down and she was like, "I'm sorry, I failed you." Stuff like that, where they use the overlaid text and parts of the fight to tie in with the story that was happening in the MSQ. I think that's really, really cool. They do it in subtle ways, but it was really obvious here, where you literally had like the shades of her turning up and stuff like that. I think it's really good. Really, really good. This was a really fun trial. And then the whole like light and dark, I feel like that was some relation to her being both good and bad, and her past and what led her to her decisions, and that she has a good side and a bad side. I kind of get where they were going with the light and dark thing. The mechanics itself did not get them up first. As you see me tanking the floor. And here we have top 10 anime deaths. Asahi, what a dick. He was such a hateable character, wasn't he? He was so easy to dislike. I thought the character was well written and he was a good character, but they just made him so unlikable. And I think they just did such a good job. This was incredibly satisfying. It was like her last thing that she did. It was her final vengeance and the one thing she always said she would do. I thought it was really good. And he gave her the power to do it. Really, really cool. Such a satisfying ending to her story. like I said, I think it like Gusset Yotsuyu died in Doma Castle, and I thought they did that well, but they managed to redeem her, bring her back, and then end her even better. So I thought that was good. It's a shame what happened to Gussetsu. I didn't like this ending that happened where he went off and became a monk, or whatever that was. But I thought they ended Yotsuyu a second time very, very well. This was a really satisfying ending, and it kickstarted some insanity in the MSQ. It just got so good from here. Because you get the big twist that he was following the revived Xenos. And I really made it clear in my last video that I can't stand Xenos. I thought he was one of the worst written characters in the whole of Stormblood. And they just really just missed an opportunity with him. I really didn't like how they handled him. And then you see him plotting and doing all this, and I thought, oh, there's a new writer here. There's a new writer for Xenos because he's being written so much better. He's plotting and he's tactical, and that's because it's not him. And yeah, this was a complete sideball. I never expected like an Asian to be behind all this and to have brought him back and like kind of be in his body. It was so smart. Such a complete. 5-head move is so good. Stuff like that just completely gets me on board. I love complete like mind warps like that. And then I do just want to briefly talk about Omega. So like I say, I have got a full detailed video on this, my reactions, the game, pretty much every boss, and the ending. And this was the best raiding experience I've had in Final Fantasy XIV so far. I'd even put it above Coils. It was just phenomenal. The story grabbed me from the start. The bosses, every single one, just hit so hard. I just completely loved it. We did it all over the course of like 2 days, and I can't say enough good stuff about it. It was just so fun, and I want to go back and do it on like Savage or the harder difficulty or something maybe. And I just want to do more. I just want more of these like raid style things because I just cannot get enough of them. This was the one of the best parts of the game so far that I've played. And it just shows what they can do, and I love it. I completely love the story, and you know, Alpha and the cute little guy, and I thought that was really great. So yeah, my full video is linked down below if you want to check it out. But I will say my favorite bosses in here were Halicarnassus. I thought this was a great fight. The Phantom Train. This was just so genius. Like to have a fight where you fight the train, then you get on the train. And then you go into the little carriages and fight the ghosts. Just, I've never seen a raid like this. It was just so unique, so cool, and genuinely just a fun time. And people absolutely lost their mind. We did this for the first time on stream, and we entered the passenger car and got this Siegfried, and people lost their mind. Apparently he's like super rare. I don't know. I mean, it means not so much to me because it was the first one I ever got. But apparently it's really rare. I got loads of comments on the last video saying it's quite rare. But yeah, here we are. And a lot of people said there's a lot of ties into the old Final Fantasy games. I haven't played anything before 7. I played like 7, 8, 9, and 10. And a few of the others afterwards. But they were the big ones for me. So I didn't get a lot of the references. I did see the little 1-minute video where they... Was it like suplex the train? That was pretty funny. This fight was really fun, where you had like the paintbrush and you had to paint to like have water resistance, to have like the little car, the rock that you could hide behind. I thought this was really cool, very unique. The fight itself, once you understood the mechanics, was pretty easy, but then they started like mixing two mechanics at once, so they'd go into like 2 things at once. So yeah, really cool idea for a dungeon. I don't know if it gets harder on like a Savage mode, because it was quite repetitive once you got the hang of it, but very unique, and that's why I liked it. And then the Omega robot itself was really good. I've never really been one for ships, so I didn't really understand the starboard and leftboard, starboard and harbord. I don't know the other one, but yeah, starboard's like his right side. No, starboard's his left side. I've already forgotten. But I liked how he flipped round, and then you got confused of which side was which. I've already forgotten which is which and which is how is starboard. But yeah, we learned nautical boat stuff for a little bit. I somehow managed to survive this fight, I think. But yeah, this was really good. I think we did it first time, so I didn't have to learn it too hard. But it was really fun. It was really fun, and I want to do it again. I need to learn this properly. And then the final fight against the fluid, the changing real Omega in human form, I guess you could call it, human or human-like form. This was great. The fight itself was like, okay, it was pretty interesting, but the area and the aesthetic and the feel and the music was 10 out of 10. Absolutely loved it. And yeah, we finally got through them all, and it was just such a rush. Absolutely loved this entire raid. Every single part of it was just so good. I can't say enough good things about it. It was a nice little break from the heavy story and lack of action in the MSQ to do something that's just so hard hitting. And this is the kind of story I like the hard hitting, interesting action, unusual story, rather than like the interesting, the detailed of the characters and their feelings and their lives. I really like more wild and out there stuff like this and the Asians, and this one just completely gripped me. And yeah, I loved it. I liked Alexander, and that was probably my best one before this, but after playing this takes the top spot, and it is a big difference. It's just so much better than everything else. I loved it. I think you get it. I like this. I like this troll. Let's move on. So this was a real nice surprise. This was the first time, I think, in the game you got to control a character who wasn't you. And if you've been around for a while, you know that I'm a huge fan of Alphinor. I think I'm one of the few. I don't know. Whenever I say I like Alphinor, people go, why? Why do you like that guy? He's annoying. I don't know. I've liked him since the very start. I think he's great. So it was really cool to play as him. And every single cutscene, I always say, I wish you could get his carbuncle, like his moonstone and his, I don't know, the dark one as well. I wish you could get those carbuncles, but they're Alphinor specials, I guess. And we finally got to play with them. So yeah, I thought this was great. I thought this was so cool. Quick introduction to Shadow Man or whatever. Shadow Boy, Shadow Dude, Shadow, this guy. When I first saw him, I thought he looked a bit like Nero in the face. There were like certain elements in his face that reminded me of Nero, and I was like, oh, is this like Nero's brother? And I thought, nah, that's being silly. Like that's not. But I was like, I recognize this guy. He looks a bit like Nero. And I'm obviously an idiot because I didn't realize the giant gunblade on his back. I didn't realize the attacks, like the big cross formation attacks, and all the other subtle little hints that they gave you. Because we all know who this guy is now, don't we? Let me know if the first time you met him in this cutscene, in this little fight, you did Shadowhunter, that's his name. Shadowhunter, not Shadow Boy. Let me know if you knew from this cutscene who he really was, because I had no idea. I couldn't put together the pieces. They were definitely there for you to do so, but I couldn't. Let me know if you did. I'd be intrigued. Enter stage right, a flying potato. It looks so silly, but I kind of like it. And so we enter the next dungeon, the Burn. This was amazing. I really like this. I love the entrance, the vibe, the music is probably the second most chill soundtrack since Snowcloak. Really cool idea, and I like how I still wasn't sure if this was like sand or snow, but someone said in chat, I don't know if this is true, that it's like ash from all the primal attacks and how the land got desecrated and it's just like white ash. I don't know if is that true, guys? Was that being told truth, or is it snow? I don't know, but I thought it was really cool. You had the big the big desert snakes, and you had like the giant the giant husk of a sand snake. Really cool. Really cool dungeon. But you know what's not cool? How hard this last boss was. This boss was hard. I've never struggled this much in a dungeon before. We genuinely wiped a couple of times on this, or maybe once. I don't know. It was really tough. You had to take down these things, and then there was another one, and we didn't realize, and then somebody was attacking the middle, and then I attacked the middle, and then people got turned into ice cubes, and then the AoE got bigger and bigger, and then everyone died. I think everyone died here. Yeah, we all got turned into ice, and then it just got worse and worse, and we just lost control of the fight, and the healer was ice, the tank got out, and then everyone else got, and then we got blasted. It was so hard. This was so hard. I don't know. There's just a lot going on. It was like pure panic, but it felt like uncontrollable panic, and I really struggled on this one. We did it eventually, but yeah, this was so much harder than I was expecting like an MSQ dungeon to be. I don't know if we did it on minimum item level. Maybe we did. Maybe that's why it was so hard. But yeah, this guy slapped the Mist Dragon. What a guy. What a hero this was. It was so good. And then I made no secrets, but I didn't really like Stormblood. As an expansion, I thought it was the weakest, and it had pacing issues and problems. Blah, 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 we're not complaining. But one thing I'll always be thankful for from Stormblood, other than some of the cool characters, is the steps, the Azim steps. This is the best area in the game so far. It's my favorite zone. I love it. The story from start to finish with all the tribes and just everything here. The dungeon where you had to go on your little like pilgrimage up the mountain, like the little like taming the sheep and then going up and serving the guy on the mountain and on like the tribe at the top. Everything was just so good. I loved it. I'll always remember the Azim steps as just like a golden perfect area. So to come back here was amazing. I loved it. It was really cool, and you kind of like came back stronger to ask for help. It was a really cool idea. But yeah, I loved coming back here. I thought it was great. And as much as I wish we'd have had more of these tribal characters in the rest of Stormblood, and as much as I wish the whole expansion would have been about these guys, I'll take this moment.
Now,
I'll take this moment.
My eyes. Could it be?
I am not interested, little son. Try again when you've become a man.
The most sassy and the biggest burn in the entire game. This was amazing. Plus we got to see best waifu of Final Fantasy 14 again. And then coming into 3.4, 4.4, it looks like it's going back into the Stormblood politics, sitting around talking about things, and I was starting to dip in my interest, and then I realized we ain't in Stormblood anymore. This is building for the next expansion, and every time my interest peaked, it peaked higher and higher, and it just kept throwing more twists, more drama. It just kept getting more and more interesting, and I was so hooked. I couldn't put it down. I wanted to go to bed. I wanted to stop, and I just could not stop playing. Throw wide the gates. They just saved all the excitement for the end, and they just packed punch after punch after punch all throughout 3.4 and onwards. And there were so many big twists, like the Ascians being the founders of the Gallian the Gallian Empire, and the cloning machine that was used to keep the founder alive, who I think is an incredible character. I'm assuming we're going to see more of him because he's so interesting. You saw about like the gas weapons they've been using, and then you get the big reveal from Shadow. No, we know who he is. He's not Shadow Hunter. He's Gaius Van Baelza. And if you are an OG, if you've been here since the A Realm Reborn video, the very first series I did, I said Gaius is my favorite character in the whole of ARR, or something along those lines. He's the best villain that I've seen. I think he's incredible. I think they made such a cool villain. His motives were just spot on. You could get empathy for the villain and still dislike him, but then like him at the same time. I just thought he was such a good villain. And one of the best characters in the game. Here he is, back in the game. So my hype is just unlimited. There's no cap on the hype anymore. It just keeps going up. So I'm so excited for where it's going to go from here. And then it kind of all comes to a climax with Varys, Zos, Galvus. And you realize that you've got the Garleans on one side and you've got the Ascians on the other side. And they're kind of the Ascians are kind of interfering with the Garleans and controlling them a little bit. But that's not the case. They're just the same people. They've got the same goals because they're being fully controlled, and they were created by the Ascians. So this dude now, who's the leader, has an Ascian above him as the grandsire, and he's got an Ascian controlling his son. So everyone's an Ascian in the it's like an Ascian sandwich. Would it be an Ascian sandwich or would it be a Varys sandwich? It'd be a Varys sandwich, wouldn't it? Yeah. But that's how it feels now. So their plan is just to bring forth calamities and just destroy the stars and destroy the world. And I think you made a comment that the goal is to destroy everyone and then set things back to the afterwards. And I felt like he led somewhere to what it will be like after, or like there's something gonna be after, or will be reborn, or something. I can't remember, but I felt like he said something really important that I've kind of forgot. But generally he wants to destroy the world, destroy everybody, destroy all the different people and tribes and races, and start again. And that's kind of, yeah, really bad. And that's the same goal as the Ascians, I think. So yeah, if that's what Shadowbringers is going to be about, I am edge of my seat excited for the entire thing. That as a baseline, wow. And then I think I said a lot, like one of my biggest issues with 4.0 is that it was a war. It was a war with the Garleans. What everyone I think would love to see. I don't want to speak for everyone actually. No, what I would love to see. And I was so hyped for a war with the Garleans, but it never felt like we were at war. We were in politics and meetings and planning and discussing little personal stories around the world. We never was at war. We never saw it. And I think I said like 5 hours before this dungeon, in like 4.3 or 4.4, that I really wish we'd have got to see a war. Like, wish we'd have seen all the heroes on the battlefield and just the real Garlean war. And this felt like closure. This dungeon just felt like closure on Stormblood. It really was what I wanted. We kind of saw parts of the war in Doma Castle and parts of the war at the end of 4.0, but I really wanted this, like the battlefield. You see the enemy troops, you see, you know, you've got people from ARR and people from the Scions, and then you've got people from like Aymeric from Heavensward, the tribes that you met in the steppes, the people from Kugane and Doma, and everything just came together and you got the big fight. The fight that I felt I wanted in Stormblood. So for all the criticisms I give Stormblood, and it wasn't the expansion for me, it was nice to get this, and at least I can say it ended on an absolute high. It was just 4.3 to 4.5 was 10 out of 10. It was everything I wanted from this expansion. It's just a shame we had to play through about 50 hours to get here. But I'm so hyped for what's to come. I'm so excited. They've just built everything up perfectly. The fights themselves, I don't even remember. I was just running on pure adrenaline throughout this whole fight. My heart was beating. I was just going for it. I don't even remember anything that happened. It was just so good. It was just, I don't know. I was just happy. I was just really happy in this dungeon that we got to see the big fight. And then obviously it ended as well with the Xenos fight. It was just perfect. It really was.
Throw wide the gates.
And then this was really sad. I think just before this dungeon, she says, "Everyone's left me, please don't leave me." And you reach out for her hand. Oh man, I got really emotional here. I really like Alisaie and Alphinor as characters. I thought the loss of her brother was really, really emotional. And yeah, this hit me quite hard. I thought this was quite really, really sad. I mean, I don't think they're dead. I mean, please don't tell me in the comments what's happening, because it's big spoilers, but I don't feel they're dead. And I feel like all the Scions are now in this kind of coma where their soul has left their body, and there's that weird voice, and it's all just unknown. So I'm hopeful that we sort this out in the next expansion. But yeah, this was really, really sad. And here ends Stormblood. This is kind of like the very end when you have this fight. There's a few more little things after this, but this is pretty much the ending of you taking your final blow. Yeah, pretty good ending. Pretty good ending. You have the final call out from the mysterious voice. This was a good ending. This was a good ending. The cliffhanger was real. It was real. I can't imagine you guys have had to wait so long for Shadowbringers. Luckily, I can just start it soon. But yeah, this is a big cliffhanger. Really, really good ending. So yeah, overall, I know there might be certain things I might have missed in this big like bumper Stormblood Part 5, because I did so much in a week. I couldn't put the game down. I played so much. So I might have missed maybe your favorite part or not talked about something important, but I've tried to cover most of the key moments, or the moments that hit me the most and I got the most out of. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it. but it's over. Stormblood's over. We did it. We are no longer a sprout. It's gone. I'm in shock a little bit. We're at current content, and it feels kind of weird. Overall, I've made my feelings on Stormblood pretty clear. Overall, the expansion is a negative just because of the sheer volume of stuff in there I didn't enjoy. But for the stuff it did well, it did so well. And they can never take that away from you, right? You've got Azim Steps, Omega. I still need to do the Four Lords and Ivalice. And I've heard they're great. I've heard they're really good. So we're going to be doing those as well. But I would probably cut the expansion up and say Doma, phenomenal. 3.3 to the ending, incredible. Everything else was just kind of tedious. But we got through it, and I'm so hyped for Shadowbringers. So hyped. I'm going to start it very soon. I'll be streaming it all over on Twitch from start to finish. I only do the MSQ live on stream. So if you do want to see that, drop a follow down below. And I guess that kind of ends the Stormblood series here. And yeah, I feel a bit emotional ending it. We've really blasted through Stormblood. I think I'm going to release a video with my live reaction to the ending to this whole kind of the last few minutes we've been talking about, the ending to 3.45. I'm going to release a standalone video just with my reactions because I was edge of my seat the whole time. I was so hyped. I'm also going to release a Stormblood reaction trailer because I watched that last night and it completely blew my mind. As soon as I finished it, I put it on again. And then I want to do a lot of other stuff. So I'm going to release them as standalone videos for the Four Lords. I'll put that in its own video. And then maybe Ivalice when we get around to doing it. And I'm going to go to Eureka soon and record all of Eureka and what I think of Eureka. So I'm going to release those kind of 3 standalone videos, which would just be more on their own, not in the Stormblood playthrough. They'll just be out on their own. But once we get those out of the way, and once we start, we're going to be doing the Shadowbringers playthrough, and that will start very soon because all I want to do is play that. So we'll be starting up very soon with episode 1. So if you stuck around this long, you're a real one. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for sticking with this series, sticking with this channel, and just for being here. None of this would be possible. None of this journey could be shared with you all if it wasn't for you guys who watch the videos, maybe watch the streams or watch the VODs or watch the highlights, or just watch the videos, like the videos, comment on the videos. Everything you do for this channel just makes all of this possible. So thank you so much. And thanks to all your support. We are going to be coming back with more videos, and the hype is real. I'm so ready for Shadowbringers, and I can't wait to share that experience with you all. So thank you all so much. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one.